Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for joining me today to this new episode of Music with Nick. Today we have a marathon by Jim X. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it. We're going to listen to 3 tunes from a Japanese band. They're called VOW. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly because it's with a V in the beginning in this. So VOW. And as you know, in Germany, the V is pronounced. I'm not even gonna get into, but the V and the W and the V basically are pronounced backwards, and as in English. So those are the 2 letters I get wrong most of the time. So it's very interesting, this name. So I wanted to read to you guys some information that Jim provided me with before purchasing this triathlon, because it's 3, but it's a marathon. And it says here, hi Nick, Jim X, I tried to get a request in for the live stream, but unfortunately they were sold out. So I wanted to let you know we're going to do another on Friday. Now this is going to obviously, if you see this in the future, it's not going to be actually like on the 20th of June. We're going to do another live stream. If you see this in time, of course. So if you catch us, we'll do another live reactions and stuff. So, but it says, but I saw a triathlon was available. So I've just done a 3-song request. I haven't told you anything really about the group, except they are from Japan. Japanese rock band, something different. I hope you enjoy. I simply chose the first 3 tracks, which were among my favorites anyway. So I hope you can find them on Spotify, and I have them here. That's it. Thanks, Jim. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it. And yes, I love, a little bit of different style of music. Like, I have no idea what style this is, if it's jazz, if it's funk, if it's metal, could be anything. So I'm really looking forward to listening to this. So this is from the album V. And so we have the album opener, Don't Tell Me Lies. We have Somewhere in the Night, number 2. And the 3rd song, it's The Girl in Red. So we're going to listen to these. We're going to have some fun. We're going to pick them apart and see what's going on. Again, thank you so much if you're watching this. I hope you have a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave a like, all that good stuff. So here we go again. Thank you, Jim. And I hope you can catch us in the next live stream. You can always look on the community. There basically will keep it up when we go live. And even after this video, if you're watching this next year or something, we might be in the community announcing our next live. So here we go with Don't Tell Me Lies from the album V 2011. Let's check it out. Okay. Okay.
You're walking on a fine line.
right. Wow. All right. So this so I got the year obviously. I was like I don't know. I had to look it up. It sounded very 80s and it sounded a lot like I mean, we have to be honest, you know, it sounded obviously the voice is very Robert Planty, you know, which is totally fine with me. And yes, and this is called Five, like a V is for the Roman, five, of course. And this is from 1987. Now, this literally this riff there, literally is from AC/DC. What is it? It's like I think it's a highway to hell. The main riff is different, but then there's a section, this bridge, like very, very clever, of course. Now that came out, I think, in the 80s, earlier. But hey, you know, there's a lot of time we write music that is very similar to stuff that already exists, you know, and you know, this is really good. I really enjoyed this. Even though, yes, it does remind me a little bit of AC/DC and Led Zeppelin. But I mean, this is an album opener. It's to set an expectation. And let's see where the second song goes. But as for the band and the voice and the sound, and it's totally cool. I love it. It's something that I would definitely listen to. I love the solo and I love the voice. I love that he can go that high and he has a really good singing voice, you know. And it's catchy stuff, you know. So let's see how number 2 here, Somewhere in the Night, goes. So it's originally, like I said, 1987. It has that flair of the 80s, you know, like the mid 80s bands like Motley Crue, White Snake. You know, it's a little bit heavier than just hard rock in general. Like I think AC/DC or Led Zeppelin have always maintained like the hard rock status. It was never really metal, and this has more like a metal kind of vibe, you know, to it, but with the roots of hard rock, right? So let's check out number 2 here. But Leah, let me know what you thought of this first track, and let's get into the second track here, Somewhere in the Night. Let's check it out. galloping. Very, very good. It's just so, oh man, I love it. It's really, it's like listening to Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden, but with all the good stuff, all they have the dual lead guitars harmonizing. Then you had that incredible, like you have the galloping. That's heavy metal. That's like the 80s heavy metal that I love. You pointed out that this album was from 2006. I don't know. I think that's the repackaging. And also they were called Bow Wow first, and then they changed it to Wow Wow. I think this is from 1987. I just looked it up here on different sources. So I don't know. But it's definitely sounds. I love how close this sounds to Maiden, especially this one reminded me a little bit of like Somewhere in Time. It has that and then really great guitar work, beautiful. Like the singing is just top notch, and even the solo section reminded me a little bit of like, you know, Yngwie Malmsteen in the 80s, you know, when he was on the top of his game. An album like Odyssey, you know, it was really like great solos, just classical runs, you know, very, very cool. The keyboard here, I'm digging it. Definitely something I would listen to again. This band has won me over. It's definitely something I would leave on. It has that flair of the 80s, and I just love that kind of music, you know. It's like and I love that this one wasn't as hard rock. This was more heavy metal, as straightforward, and I really dig it. Really, really cool. Somewhere in the Night. I mean, you can see that these guys, you know, and I mean, as a Japanese band, the Japanese market of bands is not very like I mean, maybe they're big in Japan because bands like Iron Maiden or Judas Priest or Yngwie Malmsteen, or the ones that I'm talking about, or let's say even stuff from before, let's say Steeler or Striper, or even the other band that Yngwie Malmsteen was in, Alcatraz, stuff like that was very, very popular in Japan. That's where they got the hugest crowds. That were all their live performances of the 80s were all in Japan, because even Deep Purple, because Japanese people really love this kind of music, like very classical influenced bands like Racer X. They basically, they're really revered over there in Japan, because Japanese people like heavy metal, and they like, because they know how challenging it is to play. And I've always been into, even like, there were always there's a lot of bands that were basically, if you got the Japanese import, it had like a bonus track. People were thankful, for their fan base in Japan. So bands would do like these special editions that were only sold in Japan. So there's a lot of, like, I've seen it with Symphony X, I've seen it with Maiden, I've seen it with a lot of bands, because they're like, I don't know, they give them just a little bit more to say thank you. So I think that's really cool. Let's get into the last song, The Girl in Red. I love the first track. I love the second one. Let's see what they have here. This is the longest one, The Girl in Red. Let's check them out. I love the keyboards. Very cool voice. drumming. Ooh. Wow. Very good. Very, very good. Very cool. Again, so cool. Like, this is just a cool mixture of really good styles put together, you know, and this reminded me a little bit more Queensryche as the vocals. Jeff Tate is a very high range. It didn't remind me. This vocalist is very, very good because he can pretty much like emulate, you know, a lot of amazing voices in the metal genre. And I love the keyboards here. Again, just the whole, like, I don't know, it's really good, you know, it's really good music. And it's like, it's heavy metal, you know, I mean, what's not to love? It's all great. The solos, man, like the you know, those harmonics, you know, wailing, and it's just a good time, you know. This is really, really good. I'm sure this is so wow, I'm sure they're super famous in Japan. It's, you know, a thing, you know, that bands from Germany, you know, there's a couple of bands that have made it, you know, like Scorpions and Gamma Ray, if you know Gamma Ray, or Halloween. I think Rammstein obviously is very successful, but there's not that many, and I think that's just that bands coming out of places, you know, like Sweden or Norway and or Japan, you know, or it just takes a lot more time to get to know them. Usually a lot of people just listen to bands from the US or from Great Britain. It's just a thing, you know, and these other bands are just like the underdogs, and you know, you have to be creative, and you obviously gonna, if something sounds good, if something works, you will use it, and you will, you know, I would do the same. So I think this was a great display of what this band can do. Yes, they're not entirely original, but I mean, if you listen to music from the 80s, any 80s band, and you know, you listen to the next one, they gonna sound a little bit similar. And even the stuff before, I mean, if you listen to bands like Rainbow, or you listen to bands like Dio, it's gonna be similar. I mean, okay, that's a bad example because Rainbow literally had Dio as their vocalist, but I mean, even if you listen to Black Sabbath, and then you listen to Deep Purple, and then you listen to Led Zeppelin, there is obviously a similarity in the tone, in the type of music that they're portraying. You know, Uriah Heep, and that's like the heavy stuff, you know, and then you got other bands a little bit later, you know, like Thin Lizzy and stuff like that, and then going into bands, you know, like Metallica or Iron Maiden or Judas Priest and stuff like that, Running Wild. There's all these maybe there will also, during that time, they're also putting out their stuff. So it is what it is, music has different genres and they will sound a little bit alike. I mean, if you listen to classical music, sometimes, I mean, particular styles of composers. I know when I'm listening to Beethoven, I know when I'm listening to Bach or Mozart, because their style, their where they're gonna go, what they're gonna do. And it's also with music, somebody's always gonna be influenced or inspired. I think by saying this, I mean, yes, Beethoven did take a lot from Mozart because he was obviously inspired by him, and Bach, and stuff like that. So, it's just music tends to repeat itself, and I don't think that's a negative thing. I think it's a great thing, as long as it's not like, unfortunately, today, most music just sounds exactly the same, but just with different lyrics, but the beat is basically the same, and that's what gets a little bit boring. But with this, I can totally forgive, them wanting to sound epic and cool. And, this guy's voice is really like at a level where he can pretty much do whatever he wants. And if he's inspired by Robert Plant or Jeff Tate, it doesn't really matter. I think this was a great set. Thank you so much, Jim, for playing a different band, for putting something different on the channel. I appreciate it. I appreciate your love towards the channel, your support, and everyone who's watching this. Thank you. I really appreciate you all. And yes, leave a comment. What did you like most about this band? Did you dislike it? Like, just be honest. That's what the comment section is for. And I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jim. I appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one.